short story started 4 years ago, I would say, during the pandemic. It all started initially with one video, and I'm sure you guys could relate with that. It was an interview, a young gentleman. I listened to him, and I was mesmerized. I'm someone that reads a lot and, went through a lot of conferences, met Tony Robbins, met Gary Vee, and I was someone who was chasing the highest achievers out there. I've always wanted to be high achievers in whatever field it is, and I didn't knew what I wanted to do back then. But I stumbled upon a video of a young gentleman from Montreal. I listened to that dude and I was like, holy shit, this is this is out of this map. Like, he doesn't come from the United States. He's literally in Laval or Montreal. I don't know. He's speaking French, and he's younger than me. Who is that guy? So I was listening over and over again, the same interview, and then trading just came up to my mind. He was talking about trading, but I didn't understand the general conversation. He was talking about charts and what is forex and whatnot. And then one day I was going to the Club Lesang. I don't know if you guys relate with that, if you guys remember this. A young gentleman came to this club wanting to meet me because I had a franchise of barbershops at that time. And he wanted to meet me. But this guy was a trader and he was the student of Sami. And instantly I saw opportunity. I was like, okay, listen, I heard about trading. I don't know what it is, but I could believe that it's a very hard market. Sounds like a interesting journey. What is your struggle? He's like, I don't have money. I'm like, okay, listen, I'll show you how to make money, but you show me how to trade. So we try to like kind of exchange traits. The unfortunate thing was that when he tried to teach me trading, and I'm sure you guys could relate, looking at a chart as a newbie, it looks like complete Chinese, like it's a different language. So I almost burped. Like I watched this and I was so mesmerized about the complexity. And short story, he made money, but I never learned trading. And then eventually I started by my own. And I remember I took a demo account. I pressed buy, sell, buy, sell with like point 0.1 lot or point 0.2 lot. And I made like $10 in less than 2, 3 minutes. And I was like, really? Is that easy? Why do people work hourly wage if you can make that kind of money just by pressing buy and sell? And then he's like, well, it's not easy like this, Pauwes. You just trust me, it's very difficult. So I'm a very hard-headed person. I went home, I looked at YouTube how to put money in my account. I went to a live account, I put $10,000. I made sure the conversion was like $10,000 American, and I was proud of it. In less than a week, I made $9,000. At that time, I thought I was going to be a millionaire, and I was like, okay, I just figured everything out. All you have to do is hold your position. Everyone is selling when there's a drawdown, but I'm a hard-headed motherfucker, so I'm just gonna keep that position all the way in. And I was making a little bit of profit. I was taking my profit, so rounded up $9,000 in a week. And I remember, like if it was yesterday, in one single night, I lost the whole amount of it, and I was white. But then I was like, why am I so stressed? It wasn't even my money. And it was something that I wasn't expecting. But then another voice came to my mind. I was like, well, I worked for it for a week. Like, I stressed, I took walk, I had all my drawdowns. But then instantly something came into my mind where I saw the opportunity. If you could lose $9,000 in less than an hour, how much you can do in less than an hour? You know what I mean? Like the potential of this market was immense. And then I started to studying, and then the more you study, the less you have it, because the more you want it, the less you're gonna get further from it. But to round this up, the story here, it all started from watching one video of an interview, which is Sammy, obviously. And I got obsessed by what it requires you to become in order for you to arrive to that destiny. And it's not about the money, it's about who you become, because the person you become will reflect whatever you will have. I have this beautiful Chinese philosophy that says, don't chase the butterfly, create a beautiful garden and the butterfly will come into your garden. So yeah, this is how I started my journey. I went through a spiritual journey, which honestly wasn't really necessary, but I mean, I've done it. I went to Alachua, toward Florida, meeting Michael Singer. If you guys are familiar with his name, he's a good friend of Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey. So I went there, I met him, I had some decent talk with him. I went to his temple, and I was trying to basically be the most stoic person that I could have been. But that's not the answer in trading. And trading is not about just being stoic. It's obviously about having a good edge, about knowing what you're doing, first thing first. Like imagine David Goggins. He has the most impeccable mentality. But if you put him in trading, no matter how resilient and strong mentally he is, like he would fail forever because he doesn't have the technique. He doesn't understand what is going on out there. So I was trying to get too much involved on the personal development, and Felix was way too involved on the fundamental aspect of it. And I was really involved also in the technical. So it's funny because me and Felix, we like complete each other in so many senses. He had like the fundamental aspect, like the macro level, the whole understanding of what's going on with the bigger time frame and whatnot. But I was the other part of it, the equation. It was the personal development. It was the mental resilience. It was the smaller time frame. But yeah, so this is how we met. We met on the mentorship, and instantly we just connected together. And it just happened very fluently. And you could see, you could relate. You know, like attracts like. Whatever you're vibrating, you're gonna attract it in your life as well. So we were vibrating this mentality of we're never gonna quit. I mean, I lost more than 6 digits. I don't want to say the exact number because some of you are going to jump off your seats, but a lot more than 6 figures. Lost a lot. I remember when I said that to Sammy, he was laughing. He liked that actually. He actually adored the fact that I was resilient and I wasn't scared about the fact that I am losing, but it's just a question of time that I'm going to win. That's the mentality you guys want to have. It's a very tough journey. You're gonna lose a lot of money if you're here to make money. I mean, it's the easiest. I mean, it's the hardest way to make easy money. That's a that's a good point. I started initially without stop loss, so congratulations, you're already there trying to improve your setups. And the advice that I always give to people that are starting in the industry, very simple. Not easy, I get it. It's very simple though. Whatever the amount of capital that you guys are trading with, try to lower your standards. So in a sense where if you're sort of so like quote unquote not comfortable with one lot size or zero point 0.5, decrease that in half, but make sure that you have a wider stop loss because you don't have yet the eyes and the experience to know exactly where to have that stop loss or to have that snipe entry. So until the moment you don't have this, be open with yourself to have an open wide stop loss. That way you're going to not only learn as well while you're being in the trade, but you're not going to just get burned because the idea is not wrong. No, you probably don't have the right price. At least you're in the game and you have a smaller lot size, which your psychology is not going to be against you as well. So widen your stop loss. To be honest, 50 to 100 pips. I mean, depending of whatever your experience is, if you're starting in the industry, 50 to 100 pips, it's pretty relevant. Don't be too hard with yourself and don't try to make money or pass any challenge. Your goal is to learn. For you to learn, you need to be in the game. So if you're out of the game, well, you're not learning anything. So widen your stop loss and try to be disciplined with this. And then eventually you could be disciplined with a large amount of money. So for me, personally, I've always been a big believer of one thing. And they say there's two type of mentality. Put all your eggs in the same basket and don't put your eggs in the same basket and spread it all around. I just take some time and look at all the most successful people out there. Think about just for example Michael Jordan. Would you picture Michael Jordan doing some real estate and letting go a little bit of his basketball? Well, he did it. He went and did some golfing, but you guys have seen his show. It actually affected him. And my point here is, what's the point about crypto? The best investment is yourself. And if I have one particular thing that I can put myself and have a focus, like total focus in one thing and to become the best, I cannot get distracted. And nor I understand also if I do some studying about crypto, which I know is the best investment, not just because I put my money since I know it's going all the way up, I know I'm not going to be effective. So for that reason, I am out of crypto. It's not the thing that I've mastered. I really genuinely believe on the one thing. It's actually a very good book that you guys should read. It's called The One Thing. It's the book of the month that we give for our members. And any successful people out there were very very good at one thing, and then after that they spread around whatever they're doing. For example, Michael Jordan was Nike. Conor McGregor was the alcohol. So you get my point. You need to be very good at one thing and then focalize as just yourself and to put all your mental energy into it. So if I could leave you with a thought process for you guys to ponder upon it, you don't get to experience life, okay? You get to experience the life you're focusing into. And there's three things that we're focusing. You're either focusing on that which you have control or that which you don't have control. And if you take some time to really think about it, you never have any control on anything external, anything. You can influence them, but you don't have any control. The only control you have is within yourself: thought process, emotion, state of being. The other thing that you focus is, are you focusing on that which is or that what is missing? So most of the time, high achievers are focusing on that which is missing. Which is, I mean, when you're focusing on that which is missing, it's good because you're high achievers. You want to always achieve for more, but you're never present, so you never get to enjoy anything in the present moment. And the third, but not least, is, are you focusing on the present, the past, or the future? And the best advice, obviously, is to utilize past and future, but also be remaining in the present moment. Because if you're not in the present moment, well, things will happen in the chart, things will happen in your life, and you're reliving the same moment over and over again. So you're using basically your tools, your human tools, against you. So you need to really put your time into understanding your human tools and to try to dive in a bit more on what you do have control and what you don't have control. Yeah, it's a great question. So my first 2 years in the market, I was making money. Sometime I was withdrawing, but I was putting it back in the market because you don't get to make money if you don't let your money compound by itself. So overall, I was a big, big, big loser in the first 2 years and a half. Then we got the mentorship, and after that, I remember the first. So when I got the mentorship, for me personally, I never knew what was a prop firm. I was always live, and like prop firm, with all due respect, for me, it was not something that was enticing. I would just never did any research. So prop firm, the first week, I passed it, and then below it, a month afterward. And I remember like it was yesterday. Like I was walking down the stairs, and I was looking at my P&L. I was floating $20,000 on a $200,000 account. I didn't even close it, and I wasn't even aware that on prop firm, if you close it even like $1 of profit, they give you back the money initially that you've invested. Like I was really like not even into whatever prop firm it was. Yeah, so this is how it all started. But I would say my profitability happened, I would say 3 months after my mentorship. Like from there on, everything started to be aligned together. So I would say 3 years onward. I would say it's a bit the same thing in a sense where I was not lacking anything psychologically or technically, whatever. It was mainly the problem with the industry of trading is that you need to have a solid foundation. If you have a solid foundation, you can build a huge building on top of it. The weaker the foundation, the weaker will be the building, right? You don't want to build a house on a foundation of sand. And the reality is that most of traders unfortunately get the knowledge and they create their base foundation with a very weak link, which I did, initially, Baby Pips and all those YouTube gurus out there. Pretty much what they're selling to you is their lifestyle. Like they're not consistent, profitable trader. Some of them very rare, like rarely, you could pick up one or two, I would say, out of all the names out there. So I would say you want to work on your foundation to have a solid one in the beginning. And the day we had the mentorship, this is where everything clicked because there's some few pieces of the puzzle that was missing. All we had to do was just to put it on the puzzle, and that's it. It just created the solid foundation. And I think that's the reason why Sammy chose us as well, because he saw that we had pretty much everything, like the background, the resilience, the mindset, like everything was there. The only thing was missing was few little link, and he provided that for us, which then afterward created this huge momentum. And I remember I promised myself, when everything is aligned, I'm selling my business, going full time. And that's what happened. If I remember, it was in 24, in the beginning ish, first quarter. Second quarter, I was negotiating to sell it. And then I sold it, and we're all in. And that also is something you guys need to remember. If you're not all in, you're never going to really make it in this industry, because there's people like us that are all in, like full time, nothing more. Like there's no other sources or whatnot. So you need to be having that mentality of burning your both. Okay, so burn your both and be full time, all in, when the time is right, obviously, and if you have the right proper techniques. It's usually your result that's going to speak for it. So prop firm is not something bad. It's a beautiful school. If you pass them and you make a little bit of money, it gives you the indication that you could, go full time. I wish I would knew this back in my beginning. don't go with your live account. Okay, don't start. Honestly, go with a prop firm. Don't do the mistake that I've done. Like for 2 years, I was not putting myself out there and trying to understand a little bit more how easy it is. Like, good time creates, weak people, they say, and weak people create bad time. But generally speaking, we're in a good time. Where prop firm, it's giving for you guys. Like it's the easiest way to actually know that you're going to be sustainable in the game, that you could provide eventually for your future. So yeah, prop firm is the best tools that you guys could utilize. And you don't need to buy like $100,000 account. You could start with a $50,000 account. Once you compound this, you get some profit, you buy a bigger one and then a bigger one. And then you just grow your capital and it costs you like pennies, to be honest. So don't go with your life. And if you were a bit like me against prop firm or just lazy to read what's actually a prop firm, then start with a very low capital that is not going to affect your mindset. For me, at that time, every time that I was going live, it was around $10,000 US. And every time I was blowing this out, I was going back 10,000, blowing it out 10,000. So I remember like it was yesterday, I made $33,000 in one NFP Friday. I just wanted to make a little $2,000. It's Friday. Let's round this number 33 to $35,000. And I get off the shower. I still have my towel. I go there, and then NFP kicks in. I remember I put two lot size against the grain. Then it goes down. I'm like, fuck, like I'm back like at 31, 30, 29. I'm like, nah, I don't like that. I put another two lot and another two lot. And until you know it, I remember I was sitting on my chair and I was watching the whole screen and I was like, okay, I have two choice. Either no, this is not a choice. I'm not gonna close this up because I'm like 16,000 floating. So it was not a choice for me. And so the way I was thinking about it, I was like, fuck it. The fucking mentality is watch the screen, watch losing $33,000 in less than 15 minutes because one day, payment, you're going to trade millions of dollars and this will never affect you. So I might as well just get used to it right now. So I watched the screen and I remember I think I got margin call and the account was like around $1,000, so I got kicked out. And when I saw this, for a brink of second, I was watching the screen and I was like, "Am I dumb? Did I really did that to myself? Like, did I really lost like everything?" Initially, I put $7,000, so I should have at least took $7,000. But yeah, so short story, you don't start live, go on a prop firm. There's a very much easier way out that you guys could go along with it. Prop firm will be my answer. Started with Forex, GJ, GU, GPP, and all of these crap out there. To be honest, it was a nice journey. It's slower, a lot less volatility, and since the mentorship, we turned ourselves to gold, and it's the best thing ever. Just based on the complexity, based on what we understand, and based also by the volatility. You can make a lot of pips in this. I believe it's the way to go in trading. At the end of the day, the cost of not doing it, it's too high because if you're it says a lot. If you find a great mentor, you know in your deep down your gut feeling that he is the right one, and you're just stingy about the fact that costing me few bucks. In the industry, you're not going to be meant to prevail because it's an industry where you actually need to not give a fuck about the money. And the most important thing in human life is your time and your energy. So, like Felix said, if I put you on the analogy here, essentially you're in a maze. All of us were in a maze, and you're trying to find your way out. A mentor is simply someone that is going to come at you, and he's been through the maze a few times. He knows where's the exit, and he knows where are the route, where's the obstacle. So for me, I mean, if you're a wise person, if you want to save capital and time, capital and emphasize a lot on capital because especially in our trading industry, if you're too stingy to pay like a good mentor, well, you're gonna pay it regardless and mistakes in trading. So you're in a maze and the mentor is there to tell you what are the obstacle and how to get out of it faster than everyone else. Don't you have an edge if you think so? Of course you have an edge over everyone else because you know exactly how to get out of it. So for us, it saved us a lot of time. And that was also, I think, a point where our mentor liked it. Like initially, my point, my last message was like, regardless of anything, I'm always going to be grateful for just having to seen you in a video or having to read few of your Q&A. Like me and Felix have like probably over thousands of picture of all the Q&A. We were pretty much obsessed by his mindset. But I was just grateful for everything. But I said with full conviction, like regardless, I will be successful no matter what. For me, I die or like we're gonna climb the mountain. We either way from the top, or you're gonna see us die on like in the middle of the road of it. Um, so we're gonna have the success, but it's just going to take us time. And I think he liked it, and that was genuine from ourselves. So you're in a maze, you want to save some time and capital. Of course, you want to have a mentor. And by the way, we all have mentors. Dead book, like books on the shelves, are mentors. Your parents are a mentor. Your friends that are successful in relationship are mentors. So yeah, I would say mentors is very essential, very very essential. You want to save time and capital as much as you can. Yeah. Well, it's the best route to be into it. Like I know, and Felix know exactly how you guys are feeling. It's an industry that is very difficult. You don't know where to get the answer from. But action, words, and truth always prevails in this industry. And yeah, I mean, we've been there. We've been there to try to get as much as valuable lesson. It's not only like Sammy that I try to get as much as it. I went through like all of those greatest traders out there, like Sebastian and Q Banks. I remember I watched every single video, everything I could have grasped my hand into a certain knowledge. But then you realize that it's so much more simple than that. All you have to do is to look at yourself in the mirror and stop looking at the window. And what I mean by window is social media. It's people's life, it's other traders. Like it's okay, you guys could watch us because we emulate truth and real genuine trading, but you have to stop watching people's life. You have to start looking at yourself in the mirror. So that's the analogy I want you guys to reflect upon it. Like you look at the mirror and you stop looking at the window, and then you be accountable and look at yourself and be like, do I really want it? That's the first question. If you really, really genuinely want it, where does the will? There's a way. You will have it. It's just a question of time. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be open. I hope this was insightful for you guys. And we're pretty much, I think, an hour into it, right? Or more. Hopefully, this will be recorded so that way we can post it on YouTube. We're gonna open a Spotify and everything that it could be potentially, shared upon. All right. God bless, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.